Hey everyone, it's time for day 12 of Alone with You. So last time we spent some time in the caves and found whatever we needed to find for the fuel system, as well as the dead body of Jean Lumumba. Also spent some time in the holodeck with Virtual Jean, and he seemed like, he was inspired by that conversation to get his work done. He didn't seem too upset about his us finding his dead real self. So yeah, let's see what we get up to today. Well, how did it go? I didn't get much indication when syncing data with the HoloSim chamber this morning. He seemed okay. He got through. He dealt with the news just fine. That is good news indeed. I would hate for our mission to be compromised when we're so close. We need to get you out there again while we still can. Please come see me in the core as soon as possible. First, we're gonna check the status, check the progress. I was delighted that today's work report from Mr. Lumumba showed a considerable advance. For a while there, I worried about his efforts. He was able to walk me through implementing the energy source you found yesterday. That's good news for the state of the escape ship. Thankfully, the fuel systems actually stand a chance of carrying you for the distance we require. That's it. Give me the percentages. That's what I want. Alright, well, I know that was the category we were lacking in before, so hopefully now we're on good track to escape. So, gotta check in with Corey. I think we have, 2 areas we can go to. He says, I know finding your colleague like that yesterday was tough. There are 2 more areas I need you to visit, though. Please just plot a course in the shuttle bay when you're ready. Sounds like you're losing patience with me, Corey, and it's not your place to do that. I'm the human in this relationship. I lose patience with you, not the other way around. So let's see what's on the docket for today. We can go to the Agrodomes or the comms relay station. Let's go to the Agrodomes, because it's always important to have a good food supply. Time is running out, and you need to be prepared for your trip in the escape ship. As it stands, we still don't have the means to guarantee a food supply. This might be our last hope. Find out if the team completed their research to combat the toxins. Wait, I may have read that wrong, but now it's off the screen, so I can't read it correctly. I'm sure I got it more or less correct, though. The researchers sometimes lived in this dormitory during their shifts, since they needed to tend to plant production so closely. Privacy was important, so living quarters were all equipped with passcode locks. They were usually numeric, if that helps. usually, if either they're all numeric or they're all... if they all have the possibility of being alphanumeric, so it doesn't really help narrow things down for us. That is unusual. Hidden within that flower vase is a small, round recording device. It's a very discreet omnidirectional microphone. Its onboard memory is limited, but it's enough to capture a day's worth of sound. Let me just cut out the ambient noise and see if there's anything of value here. So is this like an Alexa, or are we talking like this is a bug that some spy planted? You might want to listen to these snippets. Voice 1. Is she back yet? Voice 2. No, but she will be. Shift just ended. Any luck? Voice 1. No, this isn't going well. But I won't accept that we're failing. We can't. Voice 2. Damn it, Ashley, what are we going to do? Spread of the toxins has damaged much of the recording. I can't access any more than that. I mean, that's not that useful of a recording, I wouldn't say. What's this grass? That plant has had its genes altered to test its resilience. It should be dead, considering its exposure to the vines and toxins in that area. Still, we can't use it. It's been corrupted like all the others, just not as much. An interesting discovery. 2 toilets. Of course. This is the first bathroom we've encountered. Oh my, it looks like that part of the dormitory sustained substantial damage. It's a good thing you keep your suit on at all times. Yeah, it's a good thing to always live in a spacesuit. Got some toiletries here. That standard issue container of soaps, disinfectants, and creams was provided to all of you. That one spilled open. The containers were all marked with batch and set numbers so they could be tracked. The batch number on this looks to be 12. I don't know why it's important that this person's toiletries were number 12. The structural damage there is quite severe, although thankfully exposure to the outside environment has been minimal. The damage has caused overflow from the dormitory's waste systems. It must smell awful in there. Your helmet should help to filter the worst of it. Oh, well, that's good. At least our helmet filters stinkiness. I mean, I would think the point of the helmet is so we're not breathing the outside air at all in any form. Like, it would be entirely filtered. So if we can smell any of the stinkiness, that seems like a problem. So, there's really nothing useful in that bathroom, huh? I guess maybe that number 12 toiletries will be very important later on. We have Arlo Jaeger's quarters. Password required, and we definitely don't have a password. The vines that damaged so much of the grow domes have invaded here too. The toxin has ruined everything. That damaged datapad belonged to Matsuko Bradley. judging by the credentials stored within it. It contains an entry that I can still access. Things are dire here. We now know that Ashley was the one who convinced Leslie to change direction in our attempt to deal with the toxin. But I think she was wrong. Many of us do. We made some breakthroughs, yes, but Ashley's techniques mean our research is sloppy and we aren't seeing results. Leslie attempts to lead us, but even I can tell she regrets giving control to Ashley. I just hope it's not too late. This room has been totally ruined by the invading toxin and the subsequent vine growths. That's it? I don't know if I'm just like not seeing the usefulness of these, what we're finding here so far, or if it's just there's nothing useful so far. I think this door's been reset to the default security code, which should be numeric. See if there are any important numbers anywhere. Yep, we haven't found it that I know of. Okay, we've got Leslie's quarters. This door seems to use its own unique passcode. Perhaps you should see if there's a way to piece it together. I'm sure we will. Got more plants in the lobby. Plant looks like it's there purely for decoration, but your scan reveals it's been genetically modified in subtle ways. Probably withstood the toxins that have polluted the agrodomes for a time, but its modifications didn't work completely. We can go to the kitchen, West Hall. Let's go to the kitchen first. We've got a giant tic-tac-toe board. It's an old-fashioned physical whiteboard that the colonists used to keep track of chores while they stayed at the dorm. Written over the minutiae of chore schedule is a note. Days since working food processor, 24. It appears that the colonists here really struggled with survival once the toxins invaded the food supply. Yeah, I mean, if you can't eat food, that makes life pretty bad. Maybe impossible, even. That food processor has been heavily damaged by exposure and general disrepair. The colonists wouldn't have been able to use it for some time. That shared pantry has been thoroughly picked through and used up. By the looks of it, even scraps of flammable material were used to make a crude fire. The situation must have been quite extreme indeed if the residents had to attempt such dangerous tactics. Yeah, you should never light a campfire indoors. That's just asking for trouble. Got more plants. Though that stock is unusable to us for food production and synthesis, it appears to have been modified in an attempt to fight the invading toxins. The modification wasn't successful, though. The plant eventually succumbed to the toxin, like all others. The inhospitable landscape likely appeared almost beautiful once. Did I just... Anyway, now I imagine it is lonely and terrifying. It looks okay when we're driving in the van. Aside from the storms that happening all the time, it's not unpleasant to look at. Even in this stressful time, you manage to see the positive in the world around you. I am deeply impressed. Hey, thanks. So, for some reason, I'm allowed to try this door, even though they all have been reset to a passcode. But yeah, let's try 12, because that's the only number we've found in this entire place. Nope, that's not it. Alright. Then I guess we have to find another number. Oh, maybe it's 24, cause that's the days till the food processor thing. But why would that be the default password? Let's try 1224 or 2412. For some reason it was 2412. Only because that's a combination of the two-digit numbers that we found. I can't say it makes a whole lot of sense. But whatever, we're in. Miss Hainsworth's room appears to be heavily compromised. There might still be some of her effects here, though. That appears to be a physical reproduction of a photo of Chief Researcher Hainsworth's parents. It was taken back on Earth. Her mother and father look somewhat sullen, if I may say so. A written note says, "Keep trying." Why would you have like a sad picture of your parents? Get a nice picture. If you can only bring like a few things with you from Earth, bring a happy picture of your family. This is another set of private notes by Miss Hainsworth. They read, "Thought I cracked it twice. Time constraints making checks difficult. Team is slowing me down. Leslie looks like she regrets our agreement, but she's wrong. She's always been wrong. Stupid woman." Man, this Ashley Hainsworth seems like a real B-word. Who thinks she's always right, everybody else is wrong, and everybody else is holding me back. God, that's the worst type of person to have as a coworker. She's locked herself in her quarters for weeks, rarely comes out. What is she doing in there? She really has passed the torch. We'll be better off for it. Dangerous out, but I can't be here with those mewling geneticists any longer. Returning to Research Dome to finally make this work. They'll see. More research notes by Miss Hainsworth. They are highly damaged and they must have been problematic, for she's crossed out much of the content and abandoned them. The only parts I can decipher for you read, "This team needs me. We have never been closer to solving this problem. We've also never been so effective. Leslie's bleeding heart management was such a waste all these years. We could have achieved so much more than we did. Even loser Zurakowski has put in great work when he hasn't been pining over Bradley. Just this week he isolated 33 potential strains. Leslie couldn't believe it. 33 is double what he was doing under her. Well, it's not always the numbers that matter. Sometimes you gotta go for quality over quantity. Only choose the promising avenues of research rather than trying 33 different ones and seeing what sticks. Seems like just a difference in approach. Well, you seem to have figured out the default security code. Why don't you see if that works on any other doors that you see? What was it, 2412? Yeah, let's try it. Oh, can't do that one. It's not set to default. I don't think Leslie's was set to default either. We got two unikies over here, but this one I believe was also default. Let's do it. 2412. Hopefully in this room there will be some clues to those other two passcodes. Mr. Jaeger's quarters is almost completely overtaken by vines and those flowers. These ones seem a little different. Got a diary here. How quaint. Production supervisor Jaeger kept an old-fashioned physical book in which to write his personal thoughts. Most of the pages have been ruined by exposure, but a few passages here and there remain legible. A.H. is running herself ragged. I worry for her, but I worry for us all. We're tired and no closer to a cure. The boss is holed up in her quarters doing who knows what. Things have gotten out of control. Don't know if we'll ever recover. I backed A.H. I believed in her. Now, though, I wonder, should I have? I don't think you should have, Jaeger. These flowers appear to be a different pigment than the ones that were in the agroponics dome 2 weeks ago. Have they been affected differently, or were there more experiments going on here? Who knows? What am I, a flower scientist? We got a Sega Game Gear. That's a fairly new video game system. Mr. Jaeger must have enjoyed these kinds of distractions. It's long dead, unfortunately. There's a note stuck to the back that reads, "Try to beat my score, buddy. You'll see it at the very top. Dale." Underneath that is hastily written addendum. Question mark plus 66. The numbers look like different handwriting. I wonder what the question mark is. But that's helpful. So we only know a few numbers so far. Maybe we can add 66 to them and see what we get. I wonder if it's well, so since that code was, or the sticky note was on the back of Dale's video games, I think it's probably the code to his door. And yeah, I wonder what the other two numbers could be. Let's do 12. Well, we'll try a bunch of different things. Can try 1266. Not that. 2466. So maybe we actually have to do some math here. What's the default code is 2412. 2412 plus 66 is can't do math right now. I already forgot that. 12 plus 66 is 78. 2478 maybe. No, that's not it. Let's try 12 plus 66, which we just did. Is 78. No. What was the other number? 24 plus 66 is 80. It's not those. So what could the answer be? Is there maybe another number that we use with the 66? Or I wonder if there was another number in what's his face's room. Or maybe there's even something that we missed. But let's just check Jaeger's quarters some more. So there's his diary. We can't read it again. Yeah, so it's question mark plus 66. That's all we get. We don't know what the high score was, so if that's an important clue, then yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't. Maybe there's some. Maybe we need to read between the lines. It's just question mark plus 66. That's not helpful. I wonder if I'm just being dumb. I feel like I did some wrong math at one point, like 66 plus 12. 78. I tried 78, I'm pretty sure. But 24 plus 66 is 90. I probably messed that up before. I'm not good at doing math under pressure here. So maybe it's each set of numbers plus 66 from the default code. So like 24 plus 66 and then 12 plus 66. So it would be 9078. No, that's not it. Write that before. Yeah, I don't know. Just there was another number we needed to find or something. I can't see how any of Hainsworth's stuff would be relevant to... Oh. But yeah, there was new numbers here because there was the 33 plant strains. So maybe 33 is important. So 33 plant strains plus plus 66. So that's either 99 or it's 3366. There we go. So it was just a matter of thinking about it and making sure we used every single number that we found in the world. Oh, even without a scan, I can tell that something is not right in there. You think? I mean, there's some dead bodies right there. Whose dead bodies are these? It appears that you have discovered the corpses of geneticists Dale Zurikowski and Matsuko Bradley. I am sorry for this new grisly discovery. The two appear to have been entwined in some fashion at the time of their death. Their remains are still holding hands, it would seem. Each one of them seems to have carved something into the floor beneath them. Beside Mr. Zurikowski is the number 46. I'm sure we'll need that. Beneath Miss Bradley is the number 92. Based on your scan, I would surmise that the pair starved to death in that room. Well, that's pretty sad. Why did they write numbers on the ground? Did those numbers say who killed them? Or is it the murderer wrote those numbers after the fact to throw us off the trail? Who knows? Could be anything. I already forgot the numbers. It's kind of sad. I know. I think one of them was 92, 46, and 92. So, 46, 92. 46 is 92. Yeah. 4, 6, 9, 2. Go. Yay. Well, that is impressive. It appears Leslie was quite busy in there. These are musty notes that Leslie kept while conducting her experiments here in this room. They span almost 2 years and have faded badly. Here's what little I can still decipher for you. Work continues as Ashley leads the team. Progress is slow. I feel betrayed, but worse, I feel ashamed. That was my team, and I let Ashley persuade me. I now know more than ever. She was wrong. But it's too late. Florent is gone, and Arlo too. The next passage reads, 6 months of work, only glimmers of progress. Ashley has not returned from the research dome. Dale and Matsuko continue with their research. And another. Everyone is gone now. It's just me. Don't know how long since I've eaten, but I'm on the right track. My methods are slower, but they're better. That is so clear to me now. I should have trusted myself. The team is gone because of me. Maybe everyone is. I've put everything into this new specimen. The answer seems so obvious now. The flowers that grew after the toxins took over. We assumed they were part of the vines, part of the disease. But they weren't. They were their own little parasite, their own reaction. Nature finding that balance again. But nature wasn't quick enough to save us. This specimen will take days more to mature before I know. I may not make it until then, but at least I know I tried. It appears that Leslie had a change of heart and finally fought back and believed in herself. That's kind of sad. There is a lot of equipment collected there, including many devices scavenged from other parts of the colony, enough to run a complete, albeit small, lab. I guess that's Leslie's dead body. Regret to inform you that your scan confirms these remains belong to the late Leslie Berdwadge. The state of the remains indicate that she was alive long after the rest of the colonists died, likely by at least a year or so in 2063. What a terribly lonely time that must have been. Obviously, she had been busy in there up until her death. She clearly was working on something she felt was very important. But how did she live so much longer than everybody else? Did she, like, lock herself up in here with a year's supply of food and then didn't share with anybody? And they all starved to death and she was, like, just hiding in her room, eating snacks like nothing was wrong? Alright, we got this plant here. It's remarkable. Your scan indicates that plant is entirely healthy and free of the toxin that poisoned the agrodomes. It is truly a shame that Leslie never got to see this wonderful plant flourish. It is entirely free of the toxin, and a new breed. Now we can synthesize a proper food supply for you on the escape ship. Leslie would have been thrilled to know she was successful. It's too bad she never will. With this somewhat grim discovery, you've secured a plant source that will grant you a much better chance of survival. I can begin to process this for use on the escape ship. Good work. When you're ready, come on back home. dozens of plant specimens on that shelf. Little sheets of paper have been stuck to each, and what look like test results have been recorded. In lieu of access to a full lab, it seems Leslie resorted to simpler techniques to keep her research going. Alright, so it seems like we've seen everything there is to see here. Let's go home and talk to Leslie about her dead body. But that's good that we found a food supply. It's good that you made it back at least. Why at least? Alright, Corey, check out this data I got. Looks like you've got another unfortunate discovery to report tonight. I'll sync the rest of your scan data for now. I don't know why they're such babies about discovering their deadness. Maybe she'll handle it reasonably well, like Jean Lumumba did. Time here is winding down, so I hope you can make the most of tonight. Oh, I will. I make the most of every night. If you know what I mean. Hey, Leslie. You dead, bro. Sorry to be the one to tell you. Oh, hey there. I was just running some new simulations based on that research you brought me before. Well, I got new research for you. Made some splendid progress, and I'm close to narrowing down a new formula for your escape ship. But you look like you want to talk about something else. What's on your mind? I found your dead body. You did. I see. Well, I suppose we both knew this was coming. Let's hear it then. There's no point in hiding the details. Oh, her face looks pretty, unimpressed right now. My. I must admit, I am rather unsettled by all this. I don't know what I expected, but to finally hear it, it's just very surreal, if you understand me. You said you found me in my quarters in the Habitat Center, and with some of the others, we must have known things were going to end if we retreated there. It all sounds very sad having to hole up like that, but there's more to it than that, isn't there? Well, you solved it. So I did. It looks like I finally figured out how to combat the invasive vine species that threaten so much of our work. When the vines began invading the domes, we weren't sure if we were dealing with a local species or a mutation. Before we knew it, they were everywhere, and our crops started to die. We couldn't seem to reverse the effects of the new vines. It was maddening. All of the conflict between our crew, all of the doubt. It was all because of this one problem we couldn't solve. What troubles me the most is thinking about what everyone else went through, what they thought of me. I guess I can't change that. But at least now I know it wasn't for nothing. What else can you tell me about what you found? Let's show her the notes. These notes, if what I'm saying here is true, I finally did it. I finally turned it around. That means your ship will be okay. In our initial tests, those flowers were so problematic. They were almost poisonous to us, and we assumed they were part of the issue. But these notes make so much sense. Now that the other me has spelled it out, I can help you configure the ship's systems to keep you safe. Now we can set the filters to understand what's actually harmful and what isn't, and since the plant you found is resistant to the vines, you can grow it. I can run simulations here to test efficiency and viability in different mediums, but you will be able to harvest material for the food processors now. That means your ship can run a good long while with a food supply. I can't guarantee any of it will taste good, but it'll keep you fed until you reach Earth. Oh, this is so wonderful. The work we did at those domes, it won't be for nothing. And you can take the reports home so others will know. I know I should be happiest that you're going to get the help you need, but I must admit, knowing I didn't die for nothing, you have no idea how happy that makes me. What else can you tell me about what you found? Your plant. I did it? That little plant, it survived, didn't it? It wasn't affected by the native vines that ruined so much of what we had done. It's a miracle that the other me managed to figure it out. So many variables, tests, moving targets, and it all came down to one single plant. We are so fortunate that the AI sent you back there. Who knows how long that plant would have survived if you had waited any longer. But nature it's remarkable. Even all the way out here, with all that's gone on, we were able to find something that worked. It gives me hope for the future. Even when life is so fragile, there's always a way. I told you before that I didn't think I was as good a leader as I should have been. And with our situation, I lost control. I let Ashley change the tone and style of our work. But I was right. It just wasn't possible to see it at the time. Frantically rushing for results wasn't the answer, but I didn't trust myself enough to stand up for that. I hope the others can forgive her. And me. I mean, they're all dead, including real life Leslie, so it doesn't matter. But I can't say that to her, that'll hurt her feelings. So I'll say she did a great job solving the problem in the end. I suppose so, in the end. But I wish the other Leslie could have stuck to her guns and been the leader she needed to be for everyone's sake. Well, I can be that person now. I can do what is necessary and excel at it. No more doubts. I'm going to take this information and get your ship ready. Is there anything else you want to go over, before I continue work? Let's talk about Matsuko and Dale. Oh no, you say you found them together? I guess Dale finally had the courage to approach Matsuko. I'm sure with the crumbling situation they had a lot of time to spend together. Some people might be cynical about it, but I just can't. Maybe Matsuko finally realized that Dale's love was real and it was a comfort she was willing to accept. It's quite possible the other me didn't even notice it was going on, especially not if she was focused on her last-ditch research. But at the end of all that, at the end of everything really, isn't finding some kind of love a great thing? Yeah, I think that's nice. I'm sure that brought them some comfort. Of course it is. The other me, she had to die alone. That's no comfort, believe me. I don't think anyone truly wants that. What else do you want to review? Let's talk about the garden. I can explain how this environment works, sure. In this simulated place, I can configure seeds, growing conditions, and other factors, and run lifetime models very quickly. Been using it much like the other me was running old-fashioned experiments to try to narrow down viable plants for processing. But with the new information you gave me, I know what to look for and what to change, so I can focus on maximizing yield and all that. Without that knowledge, who knows how long it would have taken me to figure out, if ever, even in here. What else do you want to review before I keep working? Let's talk about the ship. Sure, I can give you an overview of how I can help with the escape ship. Since the ship has a portable version of the food processor system used here in the colony, you can still get nourishment on your journey. And even if you have to be induced into space sleep, having a working processor will keep you nourished until you wake up. But you can't just make food from nothing, and with supplies almost exhausted here, and with the ship's systems not being in shape, you can't survive. Thankfully, knowing how to grow edible proteins and other components again will let us create basic elements for the ship's systems. Can't guarantee that you won't be hungry a lot, but you should be able to process enough to keep you alive for a long time. And with that, I think it's time I apply this research and get back to work. Hopefully, I will soon have what the AI needs to reconfigure the ship. You've done so much for me today just by coming here and telling me the truth. I want to thank you for that. We'll meet again, I hope, when this is all over and you have to leave. But until then, goodbye. I don't know how much I really helped her. I mean, I did the legwork to get that data, but you know, she's doing the hard part, all the simulations and telling Corey how to fix the escape pod. Well, yeah, it seems like a pretty productive day we had. We went to the Agrodomes, added some numbers together in sensical and nonsensical ways, did some bad math, found some nice flowers that we're gonna eat eventually, talked to Leslie, learned a little bit more about her feelings about her own death and leadership skills, and now we're in a better situation food-wise. So I think what we have up for next time is that we have to go to the communications tower. That's probably the only place Corey will let us go, but we'll see what we get to do there next time. Until then, take care.